Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for June the 23rd. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy. After that, we'll look at one card for each sign and we will combine those energies to see what our prediction is for the day. Okay, what's coming out for overall? By the way, thank you guys for being here. Please remember to put a thumbs up on this video if you benefit from it at all and share it out to the world and put feedback down below if you will. Overall energy shows up as temperance, patience, timing, having some discernment. Temperance is all about balance. Balance, patience, discernment. Let's see how this plays out for everybody. But those are some of my key words that have to do with temperance for me. Not rushing things, letting things unfold organically. Not overindulging in anything either. Let's see what shows up here. Aries, what do you have? Hmm. Eight of Pentacles showing up in reverse. This is basically saying that you have a situation that is not working out. I feel like part of the reason it's not working out is because you're pushing to try to get it to work out instead of stepping back and taking a look at the big picture and allowing things to flow more along the lines that they need to flow or that they will flow organically if you're not pushing so hard. All right, Taurus. Six of Wands. Interesting card for a Six of Wands. Taurus, I think that you may be trying to see how something is going to play out in the future. Maybe a little bit like Aries, trying to force something to play out a certain way in the future, but I'm getting a much stronger sense of just trying to know something ahead of time, how it's going to actually be. And with the Temperance card coming up in the overall, you're not going to know. This is one of those times when just being patient and letting it unfold is where you're going to get your answers. Just do the best that you can and let the chips fall where they may, Taurus. Next up, let's look at Gemini. Emperor showing up in reverse. Geminis, I feel like there's somebody in your sphere of influence who feels like they don't have control of a situation that they feel like they should have control of. And there is a lot of frustration there with that. With the Temperance card, Gemini, it's important to be patient with this person. It's important for you to be patient with this person as they are working through their situation. Being impatient with them does not help them to calm down or to collect themselves or to understand any better. It only adds to what I'm hearing is it only adds to the trauma of the situation for them as far as they're concerned. All right, let's look at Cancer. Knight of Pentacles showing up in reverse, Cancers. This is interesting. Cancers, I think you've got somebody who is doing a little bit of self-sabotage in your sphere of influence, and it is going to require your patience as you're interacting with this person. Once again, becoming impatient in this situation only drags it backwards instead of letting it move forward organically. Next up, we're looking at Leo. Two of Pentacles showing up in reverse for you Leos. Leos, you may be feeling really impatient with yourself because you feel like you sort of dropped the ball on something. And I feel like if you did drop the ball on something, it's because you had a whole lot on your plate. There was just a lot to take care of, and it just became overwhelming. Basically, with that Temperance card coming up as the overall, that's saying, don't beat up on yourself. Be patient with yourself. You'll be able to get back to whatever this is that you dropped the ball on, and you'll be able to pick that up at a point when you're not already frazzled and feeling like you're spread out too many different directions all at once. That's not going anywhere. That'll still be there when you're ready to come back to it, whatever that is for you, Leos. Next up, we're going to look at Virgo. Virgo. Ten of Chalices coming up in reverse, Virgos. Virgos, this tells me that you're doing something to upgrade your sense of satisfaction or overall happiness in your life today. I also feel like this is sort of a process. It's going to take some time for this to be upgraded. And the Temperance card really reinforces that and says, yes, patience is important here. I'm hearing that it may seem like you're not making any progress at all. That's not true. But to get to your goal, you can't stop working towards this. Don't let yourself get dejected because you're not seeing the tangible results just yet. Keep on working towards them. Temperance is important. Being patient with this process is important. Okay. Next up, we're looking at Libra. Six of Pentacles showing up in reverse. Libra, I do think you're paying somebody back or paying something off. With the Temperance card, it's basically saying, maybe don't do that right now today, or maybe pay part of that back or part of that off today, but not the whole thing. The Temperance card says be patient. Don't be in such a rush. Yes, do this, and I think that you will actually pay this off, but don't jump the gun. Don't put yourself in a bad situation because you're paying this off if something else comes up shortly after. Okay. Next up, Scorpio. Tower card showing up here. Scorpios, this is interesting because it talks about being patient with a situation that seems really horrible at first. This is where something that we feel like we rely on, that's secure, that's stable for us. This is something like that that doesn't that suddenly and is unexpectedly removed from our experience. This can be that our cell phone goes toes up or any number of things, but something that makes us feel secure and stable. And with that Temperance card, it says, be patient. When that happens, be patient. You guys have been listening to me for a long time. You know that this is just the beginning of the story. The rest of the story is that you find something actually that is better than what you had before once you start looking for it, but you weren't really looking for it until this happened. This has kind of kickstarted you into looking for whatever that is. Yummy. 4 planets in Scorpio, so I'm not white knuckling it or anything. I'll just be patient with it. All right, Sagittarius, Sagittarius, Sagittarius. What do we have for you? Sagittarius. 7 of Wands showing up in reverse. What is happening for you guys here? Sagittarius, I feel like you have somebody in your sphere of influence who is trying to set some standards, or this is interesting. I think they're trying to get people's attention around them. And I think that usually people have their attention on you, which is not so illogical. Being a fire sign, you generally can draw people's attention to you. It's kind of something you do like breathing. But this is somebody else who feels like they need people's attention right now. And I think what we have going on here is we see you recognizing that this other person needs some attention from some other people. And we see you sort of uncharacteristically fading into the background to let that happen, you know. Or maybe even you could possibly be, if you're not fading into the background to let that happen, you could even be sort of like introducing this person or putting them on a pedestal. This makes me think of like if there's a band that's on stage that's playing a song, and they come to a point where there's an instrumental break and they're featuring one person that's playing a particular instrument. A lot of times you'll see the lead singer or the lead guitarist kind of step away from the center of the stage a little bit and sort of indicate either with eyes or hands or motion somehow that this is the person to pay attention to. This one that's playing this instrument. Sometimes they even say something. Um, this is what this feels like to me. This feels like shifting the spotlight from you to somebody else who kind of needs that spotlight right now. Okay? That's what that feels like to me. So some of you are going to be like actively shifting attention towards somebody else, just like that lead singer in the band on the stage. Others of you are just going to be sort of fading into the background to let this happen, to let attention flow more towards this other person. Okay? I feel like you're going to be doing this. Even though it's out of your character, I feel like you're going to be doing this voluntarily and naturally. With that temperance card, I feel like you're going to be feeling like this is the right thing to have happen right now. So you're going to be encouraging it one way or the other. All right, so let's move on to Capricorn. Took me a while to explain that one. Let's see what Capricorn comes up as. Four of Wands, Capricorns. Capricorns, I do think you're trying to put a gathering together, or it may be that the gathering even is happening today. If you're trying to put a gathering together, it's good to be patient as you're working out the details, as you're figuring out who can show up when and finding that perfect date, or as you're working on, the menu for the caterer, and who has allergies to nuts, and does anybody have dairy intolerance or gluten intolerance. All of those little details. I think it's really important to be patient and work those out in a very thorough way rather than trying to rush through all this stuff if you're planning some type of get together. And there may be different details for some of you than that type of stuff. But either way, the details about a get together, you want to take the time to really go through those. You don't want to rush your way through those if you're planning a get together. Now, if there's a get together that's happening today that you are a part of, which can be what's going on for some of you, then you want to be, excuse me, Excuse me a second. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat all of a sudden. But if there's a get together that's happening today, then you want to be really patient with how things work out there. There may be things that come up that you weren't exactly planning for. Maybe some extra people come that you don't have a seating arrangement for. There's just going to be things that you need to work out patiently and not get frustrated and not get rattled. Just things out organically. Handle things in a logical way. Don't allow yourself to get triggered or stressed by them. Just take them as they come up and just be aware that being flexible is going to be important. Okay? Don't get rattled. Basically, is saying don't get rattled about this get together. All right? Now, let's look at Aquarius. You're up next, Aquarius. Okay, first we have the Four of Wands. Now you've got the Four of Swords showing up in reverse. Four of Swords in reverse. What do we have for this deck? Interesting. Seems to me like you may not actually be going to some place that you would like to go to today. And so with this Temperance card and the overall energy, this is Spirit asking you to be patient with that. If you have to reschedule something, then just go ahead and reschedule. Don't try to force things when it's not time. Okay? So if you were planning on being somewhere else today, go ahead and allow yourself the space to do that another day instead of today. All right, next up, let's look at Pisces. All right, Pisces, what do you have? Okay. Ace of Pentacles showing up for you guys. Isn't that a pretty card? Pisces. You have some type of new opportunity that shows up here. And I think whenever this new opportunity shows up, Pisces, you just want to jump on it right now. Yes, let's go do this. However, be patient with this new opportunity. What I'm hearing is take the time to really plan for it. Very similar to that get together that we saw for who was that Capricorn. This new opportunity, take the time to really look at the details, plan for it so that it can go smoothly and go well, and so that it really turns into a genuine opportunity for you rather than if you try to grab it and run with it, then I feel like you end up sort of self-sabotaging because of the lack of planning. So you want to allow yourself to plan around how you're going to handle this new opportunity. I don't think you should take your time in saying, yes, you want it, but I do think you should take your time in actually utilizing this opportunity. Don't procrastinate, but be thorough and detailed about what you're going to be doing with this. Okay. So that's what I've got for everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. Everyone, remember, you are my wonderful sponsors. Put a thumbs up, share this video, and put feedback down below if you would. Also, of course, I'm doing readings and Reiki sessions today. If you want one of those, all you have to do is find my contact information up there at the website. Get a hold of me and we'll get you scheduled quickly, quickly, quickly. Everybody have a fantastic day. Peace out.